their home side as their late season charge for the top 6 continues. Newcastle make just one change to the team that won 3-1 away at Western United last weekend. Claudia Chico into the starting 11. Lara Gooch is added to the bench. No Josie Wilson or Josie Allen in the squad today. Melbourne Victory also make one change. Beattie Goad is out from the team that drew 0-0 in the Melbourne derby against Melbourne City last weekend. Leah Privatelli is in with a couple of young Matildas, Jessica Nash and Alana Murphy, added to the bench. Laura Pickett drops out of the matchday squad. Players lined up out on what looks like an impeccable surface at the number 2 sports ground. And hopefully the match will be able to match the spectacle. Handshakes take place. Claudia Chico, Tash Pryor, Mindy Barbieri, a former Melbourne Victory player there. Chico's back from young Matilda's duty, where she was able to score in the match against Uzbekistan, but still yet to open her account in the Liberty A-League. She plays a more defensive role for this Newcastle team, was preferred as a winger by the young Matildas. Expect her back at wing back on the right side for Newcastle today. Em Gilnick, one of the fringe Matildas left out of the most recent team to take on Mexico, selected during the week. But her late season form for Victory has been imperious. They've been the main beneficiaries of her trying to prove a point and get a spot in that Olympic side. And she's leading the team talk right here. It's been a superb second half of the season. Ryan Campbell, he is looking to overcome some serious history stacked against the Jets. It was at Wanderers Oval back in September 2014 when Angela Salem scored the winning goal for Newcastle. They have not won against Victory in the 9.5 years since. Coin toss going on out in the middle, being led by our central referee today, Rebecca Durkow. Captains Kayla Morrison and also Cassidy Davis in there for their respective teams. Great to see that Newcastle's commitment to equal opportunity and celebrating inclusiveness includes this young woman who's flipped the coin for us today. Jeff Hopkins has been in charge of the Victory long enough to remember what losing to Newcastle was like. It was December 2017 at Amy Park. The last time Victory were beaten. They have won 8 in a row since. They have made Newcastle their bunny head-to-head. Serena Bolden backs to us here in the circle for the Newcastle Jets. She's still pursuing Michelle Heyman for the Golden Boot. Heyman on 14, Bolden on 12 after scoring against Western United last weekend. And you imagine that the Philippines international's goals will be vital for Newcastle to try and gate crash the top 6 at the last possible minute. Alex Chidiac, another of those fringe Matildas, unable to crack the squad. Of course, she featured in the Women's World Cup last season, but seemingly on the outer as the countdown to the Olympics continues. Her own form, though, continues to improve for Melbourne Victory and will no doubt be vital today running the midfield. So there's a few interested parties in this. The Wellington Phoenix would probably prefer a Melbourne Victory win here. The Western Sydney Wanderers hoping for at least a draw. And after both teams take the knee, we're ready to have kickoff with Melbourne Victory to attack the left of your screens in this first half, wearing their white away kit. Newcastle in the home gold. Plenty on the line then. Victory can seal a top 6 spot with a win or a draw. And Newcastle, who play Adelaide away in the final round of the season, can keep themselves in the conversation. They can't seal a top 6 spot today, but they can keep themselves alive. A draw could potentially keep them alive as well, but then they would get into big favour territory, including Western United having to beat Western Sydney Wanderers later tonight. We'll leave those permutations for later. Right now it's all about the battle at hand, and Jamila Rankin has won an early throw in here for the Melbourne Victory. And here's Emma Dundas, the 16-year-old, plays a central pass to Mindy Barbieri up against the team that She called home for 6 seasons from age 15. Now Sarah D'Apollonia on the move for the victory, and Emily Gielnik first involvement, and immediately has Chico for company, who's really set herself for that duel today. And it appears as though Chico starting on a left side of defence here, so a bit of a surprise in selection from Ryan Campbell, the Newcastle Jets coach. I wonder if that is a matchup specific to potentially marking Emily Gielnik in today's game. As Chico slices a clearance into the path of Paige Zoyce, Privatelli, and now Rachel Lowe lurking at the top of the box. Lowe, who scored a double when these teams met earlier in the season. Privatelli. And now Jamila Rankin working the ball back to Paige Zoyce. Attempting to slide it through ball. The referee just can't stay out of play's way at the moment. We saw Rebecca Decau taking evasive action earlier in that phase of play. Couldn't avoid the ball on that occasion, thus a drop ball to restart. Loretta Bauman up to Serena Bolden, the internationals for Newcastle combining, but Bolden emphatically knocked off the ball. Here's another look, picture in picture at Rebecca Decau trying to move out of the way. Here's Lauren Allen, scored last week against Western United, a superb goal from outside the box, but not able to make headway with that run. The American Tori Hansen consolidates and plays back to Victory's goalkeeper, Courtney Newbot. Of course, Victory still with the unique situation of both their goalkeepers being on injury replacement contracts, both Newbon and also backup goalkeeper Gio Candy, who are deputising for the injured Lydia Williams and Miranda Templeman. Sophie Hoban cuts inside, and now Cass Davis. Neat run from Copus Brown initially, but had to veer away from the penalty area. And the attempted clearance is a little mishit by Jamila Rankin, meaning it will be a corner kick, and there's real energy to the Newcastle press through these first 3 minutes as they try to hurry up the Victory defence. Here's another look at the pass, and just forced Copus Brown a little wide. Mindy Barbieri on corner taking duty. Players congregated at the back post. Serena Bolden, the obvious aerial threat. Barbieri trying to drop it on the head of Bolden. Bolden got a header, and it's off the underside of the crossbar. Sophie Hoban so close. Lauren Allen follows up, blocked away by Zoyce. And now Bauman twists it into the penalty area, and Morrison clears. And Sophie Hoban, in her first season of Liberty A-League, has not got closer than that to scoring a goal. Serena Bolden did very well to win the initial header, and then Hoban first to respond. It took a deflection off Jamila Rankin and hit the underside of the crossbar. That would have been the perfect start for the Jets. Here's Dundas. Look how crowded the Victory defence is at the moment. You'd think it was the last 5 minutes, not the first 5. They're clinging on against this early rush. Cass Davis, it's wave after wave of attack. Lauren Allen, one-on-one against Checker. Swings in the cross, can't find Bolden. Morrison heads away. Copus Brown, Hoban lurking. Rachel Lowe trying to help out the defence. Copus Brown keeps the pressure on. We know she can shoot from distance, but thinks about recycling play here. Back to Bauman. Now Lowe makes the intercept, sets Privatelli a task. Privatelli tries to back her speed, and away from the Swiss international, Lorena Bauman here. Great run from Privatelli. And now Jags inside. She's flipped the field in an instant here. Gielnik with the shot. And it was always bending off the wrong side of the boot, but how about the energy there? Leah Privatelli, who was the interim captain in the championship season 2 campaigns ago. And a play like that is why Victory under the pump, and Privatelli leading by example, blazing down the pitch. Well, it's been a fun first 5 minutes. Haven't got a goal to show for it, but both teams showing what they're capable of. And now Privatelli trying to turn scorer Izzy Nino with a fumble. Claiming she was fouled there. The American goalkeeper, fresh off winning Liberty A-League Player of the Month for February, Izzy Nino. Now Mindy Barbieri. It's becoming a track meet, this game. Players sprinting one end of the pitch to the other. Here's Dundas now, shooting from distance. Dundas! Just wide. Crowd was riding it all the way, and Courtney Newbon got fingertips to it. Dundas playing game number 18 of her debut season. Doesn't turn 17 until May, and was agonisingly close there to her first goal in this competition. Good save from Newbon in the end to tip it around the post. Barbieri's already caused havoc with one corner. Now from the opposite side of the pitch. Huge pack of players in the 6-yard box. Barbieri trying to put it on the money. Bolden leapt. Morrison met the ball instead. Zoyce, a little toe poke away, finds the safety of the line and then tried to keep it in. Oh, Victory might have had claims to it being their throw. Yes, indeed. And that little turn on the line by Zoyce was clever in order to get the last touch off a Newcastle opponent. And here's Morrison as everyone just takes a breath for the first time in 7 minutes at the start of this game. Newcastle, you can see them hunting the ball, pressing so high up the pitch. Hoban and Bolden and Dundas leading the charge and winning the ball back. Barbieri with an errant touch though, straight to Zoyce. And the clearance now finds Dapolonia. Long ball here, Nino drawn off her line to keep it away from Emily Gielnik. And the home fans appreciate the defensive cover. Here's another look at the long shot from Dundas. And it just flicked the fingers of Courtney Newbon on the way past. Newbon, who played against the Newcastle Jets in round 1 as a Central Coast Mariner, was signed on the morning of the game as an emergency backup. And after a stint at the Mariners, was called upon in similar circumstances by the Victory. Of course, there are so many interested parties in today's game, so much more than just the two fan bases of these teams. Wellington Phoenix hoping for an unlikely run from 8th place on the table. They would very much like a Victory win here today. Western Sydney Wanderers, an ideal result for them is probably a draw, because not only does it mean they could close the door to Newcastle, they could also leapfrog Victory if they were to beat Western United later tonight. And then looking up the table, let's not forget that 3rd and 4th get to host elimination finals against 5th and 6th. So I do imagine that the Mariners and also Western United would be hoping that Newcastle can do them a big favour here and win the game. So much at stake. Here goes Dapolonia. Gielnik ahead of the ball. Dapolonia shooting straight into the ankles of Chico. Now flicked over the top for Chidiac, and the diminutive midfield presence of Alex Chidiac trying to win a header proved to be the height of ambition. End to end again, Newcastle slingshotting up the pitch. Absolutely no time spent waiting in possession. They're just going to try and rush it every time they get the ball. How long will they be able to sustain it for is the question. Another look at how Dapolonia tried to find Chidiac with the little scoop. Ended up being the meat in the sandwich between Tash Pryor and Lorena Bauman. Hoban's cross intercepted by Zoyce. Left the ball behind with Bolden. Shot on sight and can't beat Newbon at the near post. Another look here at just the chaos that Serena Bolden can cause. It was the block by Dundas. And then Bolden tried to catch out the keeper, who was well and truly aware of the danger. Dundas again. So much space in the attacking midfield pocket for the Jets at the moment. A huge gap of green, which they're exploiting at present. Bauman's pass to Lauren Allen, and Lauren Allen into the gloves of Newbon again. And you wonder if there might be the slightest mental block. Not a single player in this Newcastle team has scored against Melbourne Victory in their career. Today's Lauren Allen's 7th match head-to-head against the Victory, and even though she has a great strike rate for a winger, 15 goals in 72 games, she is yet to find the back of the net against the Victory. Here's Morrison launching out of defence. Rankin. Left-footed pass headed away by Pryor. Chidiac follows up. Chico lost out to Dapolonia, and Gielnik just caught flat-footed, but the surface is lush and the ball won't roll out. Pryor had to play a pass and now given away by Copus Brown. Gielnik trying to capitalise, and it flashes across the face. Privatelli was at the far post. Izzy Nino appears to have got a touch on the ball, meaning it's a corner kick. And M. Gielnik, who has scored 9 in 16 against Newcastle over the course of her career. It's her second best opponent in the A-League Women's. Very nearly into double figures right there. Gielnik's favourite opponent, Adelaide, she scored 13 against them, including a hat-trick only 2 weeks ago. But 9 goals career against the Jets mean that they do not like the sight of Emily Gielnik when she comes to town. Zeus's corner, cleared away by Bauman. Low against Dundas. Checker caught in possession. And Dundas keeps the ball. And now launches a long pass, but doesn't have the bend on it to bring Lauren Allen into play. Allen trying to block Newbond's clearance. Privatelli, it was just a tumbler. See the coach Ryan Campbell, he's in on the speed of play along with his team, hurrying the ball back to Bauman, and now Barbieri. Davis. Allen with a cross. Bolden's up! Crossbar again! Newcastle absolutely luckless, and where Serena Bolden has almost certainly scored that goal in every other game this season, this time she's foiled by the woodwork. Copus Brown. Hoban turns at the edge of the box. Feeds the ball back out to Bauman. Well, it could all be so different for the Jets. They've hit the crossbar twice in the first 13 minutes of the game. Hoban and then Bolden. And now Victory look to build. Can they sting in the other direction? There's no one breaking forward for them. And Tash Pryor can calm things down. Bauman cuts inside, gets the better of Privatelli. Davis gets the last touch here, meaning it's a Jets throw. Here's another look at that chance. It was a great cross by Lauren Allen. Bolden rising to the header above Checker. Newbond was beaten. And now Victory at the other end with an attack of their own. Nino scrambling. And Rachel Lowe puts it in the net. Victory have scored. And Rachel Lowe, a double last time the teams met. Another goal here at the number 2 sports ground today. She's up to 11 for the campaign. And after Newcastle hit the crossbar twice at the other end, Melbourne Victory take the lead. Gielnik's run into the box. And, well, the shouts for offside. I think Chico's playing Dapolonia onside there. The cut back to Lowe. And Newcastle left to plead to the assistant referee. And Copus Brown wasn't able to affect play. Lowe's finish unerring into the back of the net. 11 for the season. And Melbourne Victory, as things stand, will be punching their ticket to the finals. And still very much in the mix for the top 2. And Newcastle have thrown everything at these first 15 minutes. Find themselves behind, and they won't really believe how. Just how big a blow to the confidence of the Jets will that prove to be? Morrison at the centre of defence. Will Victory look to calm things down, manage the game, or will Newcastle's style of football leave them with no choice but to rush end to end and respond in kind? Jeff Hopkins up, pleading to the assistant referees. Throw down the line. Bolden unable to play the ball to her advantage. Let's have another look at this decision here, which had Jeff Hopkins up out of his chair. Yeah, looks like the last touch was off Mindy Barbieri. Checker playing it all the way back to Newbon. Ryan Campbell urging his team from the technical area to press all the way up to the goalkeeper, and Hoban obliges, forces the clearance. Chico plays the back pass here, draws Izzy Nino out, first time volley up to Tori Hansen. Low, well, left the pass a little shallow. Davis came in and stole it away, but that outlet pass is misdirected and Morrison can seize upon it. Rankin down the line, and then Morrison sinks the slipper. Barbieri to Davis, back to Barbieri. Hoban on the right side. Sophie Hoban swings in a high cross. Bolden is there and caught almost by her own player, Lauren Allen. It seemed as though Bolden never really lifted off, and it might have been tripping over her own teammate that caused it. Tori Hansen was there, but seemingly not a factor in the ball being cleared away. Copus Brown. Newcastle keep the pressure on. Bolden is back up, hoping that Lauren Allen can find her now. Allen, too close to the keeper, held on to by Newbon. So close is the ladder, as we have another look picture in picture at that latest attempt by Hoban to cross the ball into the box. Melbourne Victory are currently top of the league on the live table. Sydney FC play Adelaide tomorrow, Canberra midweek. They have 2 games in hand. But incredibly, Victory have leapt from 5th to 1st with a single goal. It's also because Melbourne City and the Central Coast Mariners, who are playing concurrently to this game, are 0-0 at present. Of course, the top 2 in the Liberty A-League get the first week of finals off. They go straight to the semi-finals. They bypass the elimination finals, which will be 3v6 and 4v5. Bauman running into trouble in the form of Privatelli, who does not let her past. Rankin's header, can't find a teammate. Dundas for Newcastle. Saw Lauren Allen, and the pass eventually makes its way over to the Jets winger, but the Victory midfield have been able to get back and cover. Dapolonia forced into a back pass all the way to Newbon, who clears first time. Chico. Copus Brown back to Chico. Zoyce, and it hits the referee again. Wow. Rebecca Durkow has definitely been at times caught out by the pace of play. Drop ball. Victory regained possession. First time header from Rankin, not breaking kindly for Privatelli. Bauman sweeps upon it. Back to Nino. Nino's clearance Finds its way to Dundas, can turn and go. Chidiac getting back in pursuit, and Chidiac wins the ball. And Dundas caught in possession there. Just when it looked like Newcastle were about to break into their attacking half. Chidiac continues to work. Back to Morrison. Hoban gets in front of Morrison, wins the ball back with real energy. And now Barbieri cuts to the line. Newcastle throw. Dundas tried to flick it past Morrison, and Morrison wouldn't be outfoxed. How about the audacity of the youngster there to try and flick the ball over the top of the defender. Barbieri keeping the heat on against Privatelli. And the throw-in goes Newcastle's way. They've got victory trapped in defence. Can they turn it into a shot on goal? Bolden comes up to receive the ball. Davis cross blocked away. Bauman physically into Chidiac. And the referee does give a free kick to the Victory. And Victory will take their time here to restart through Morrison, who goes for distance, just wants to clear the lines, but it's coming back potentially. Shinned up to Chidiac. Now Hansen. See the replay picture in picture is the foul on Alex Chidiac there from Lorena Bauman. Newcastle 6 more times into the penalty, or into the final third I should say, but Victory with the lead. Copus-Brown probing the left wing, hoping for Allen. Checker got to the ball first and is able to protect it back. Clearance from Checker, and it's a foot race here for Gielnik, leading Pryor to the ball. Gielnik on the tight angle. Pryor able to get a boot in. Clears it to Chico, hard against the line. Chico can't find a teammate. Chidiac. Chico back in, and this time out for a throw. And as that throw-in runs down to the line again, the thick grass not enough to hold the ball up. Jeff Hopkins now his turn to get up and give instructions. There's been a vital goal around the grounds. Melbourne City have taken the lead against the Central Coast Mariners. So all of these things have big swings and permutations for the table, for the top two battle. For third and fourth, who will host those elimination finals. Davis launches an attack. Bolden can turn and go. Allen wanted the through pass. It comes now. Hansen makes the intercept. And it was offside regardless against Lauren Allen. Just wanted the pass a little bit earlier there from Bolden, but Bolden was trying to just steady before playing the ball. Newbon with the long restart, and that is just volunteering the ball back, keeper to keeper, as it bounces down to Izzy Nino. Nino almost to halfway. Chidiac able to roam through midfield. Chidiac now finds the pass to Privatelli. Wants that preferred right foot. Gielnik lifts up across, and Nino able to claim uncontested. Rolls it out to Chico, who's being pressed on that left side, so rolls it back to Pryor, and in the middle, that's where Newcastle can advance the ball. Copus-Brown puts the heat on Checker here, but combines with Hansen to clear. Chico. Dundas, tough to control. Getting a replay of Izzy Nino's catch a moment ago. As Lowe, the goal scorer, tries to advance through midfield but can't find any joy. Barbieri sends it out to the right. Hoban is beaten to the ball by Rankin, but it will be a Newcastle throw. And that throw with a lot of pace on it, too much for Copus Brown to bring under control. So that goal for Melbourne City puts them top of the league. As things stand, City 38, Victory and Sydney 36. Western United in 4th on 35. And the Mariners, new occupants of 5th place on 34 points. Dundas to Bolden. Now Barbieri swings it towards Allen, over the head of Allen. Just ran under the ball. Checker looking to clean up at right back. Dabalonia. Bit of byplay off the ball between Gielnik and Chico. Gielnik doesn't look too fazed by it. Dabalonia. And Chico back in with energy, but only spills as far as Checker. Now Chidiac. Victory starting to own the ball a little bit more. It's far less frantic than it was in the first 15 minutes. Newcastle were only going to be able to sustain that hectic level of pace and pressing for so long. Seat possession. It's been pretty even for most of the game, but Victory just starting to edge ahead now. 54 to 46%. Hannah Wilkinson has been joined on the scorers list by Amina Ekic down in Cranbourne, where Melbourne City now lead the Mariners 2-0. So Central Coast, they were all smiles and celebrations last weekend against Canberra. This week they find themselves in a 2-0 hole. They haven't conceded 2 goals in a game for a while, the Mariners, so the gauntlet has been thrown down to them. And Newcastle are looking to respond in similar fashion here. First half has belonged to the 2 Melbourne rivals. Neither of them could score when they met each other last weekend, but they've both found the back of the net in the first half today. Rankin. Victory trying to double their lead here. Zoyce didn't like any of the options ahead of the ball, so opts to go back to Morrison. Rankin did well to beat 1 and then 2 opponents. Privatelli sold the contact and got the decision. Lorena Bauman protests her innocence, but Leah Privatelli able to draw the foul. Career game number 94 today for the Victory veteran. If they go all the way in finals, Privatelli may well be able to raise game 100 this season. One more home and away game after this one. And then potentially an elimination final, a 2-legged semi and a grand final. Victory would much rather bypass an elimination final. They'd rather finish in the top 2. Here's the resulting free kick. Zoyce to the edge of the 6-yard box where it's volleyed away by Pryor. Really dangerous ball into the penalty area, but no one from Victory attacking it. Rankin now. Flick header on by Morrison, and it lands on the roof of the net. And Kayla Morrison, who scored a hat-trick back in December 2022 against the Newcastle Jets at Amy Park. Incredible effort from a centre-back, so she has happy memories scoring goals against the team in gold. And as we tick over half an hour here, here's another look at the Morrison header. Safe to say a lot of Newcastle planning would have gone into Kayla Morrison at set pieces, given the past joy she's had against them. Dabalonia. Passes exchanged with Copus Brown as Victory continue to own the ball. They've had a good 7 or 8 minutes now exerting control over the game at the tempo they want rather than to Newcastle's preferment. Chidiac leaves the ball behind. Window of opportunity. Hoban to Bolden. Never took possession. Hansen able to clear. Follow up here. Might yet find Bolden. Vital header from Morrison. Dundas and Allen combined. Newcastle have the ball. And then Checker in with a challenge. Zoyce clears to the safety of the line. And of all the players to cough up the ball like that, Alex Chidiac treading on the ball is what opened the door ever so briefly for Newcastle there. Dundas in on Chidiac, and the Victory player determined to have been first to the ball and fouled. Alex Chidiac can become a foul magnet at times. Playmakers always ask the referee for protection, and Rebecca Decow has certainly been mindful of how energetically Newcastle have tried to win the ball off the Victory number 10. Free kick doesn't come to much, and Copus Brown has the ball for Newcastle here, playing it up to halfway. Hansen, the half volley. Gielnik low in the vicinity, but Bauman gets a solid header on the ball. Davis to Barbieri. Bauman trying to get around Rankin by playing the pass to her own advantage. Hoban comes in to help out. It's pretty helter-skelter at the moment. Newcastle eventually work it forward. Hoban clattered by Morrison right in front of the stand, and the fans agree with the referee that it is a free kick. Sophie Hoban, who hit the underside of the crossbar in the first 3 minutes of the game. Could have been a very different contest had that ball gone in. Instead, Newcastle continue to chase a 1-0 deficit here. You can see a fairly low foul count. Newcastle have had 20 plus in some games this season, but just the 3 through 33 minutes so far today. Barbieri's free kick. Solid header away by Morrison. Copus Brown won't allow Victory to launch a counter-attack. Morrison again in the air. Zoyce can't find Privatelli. So just over 10 minutes of regulation until half-time. Who's going to have the endurance? Who's going to have the concentration? Victory with the ascendancy, but Newcastle just finding a bit of spark again after Victory had cooled things down for a good 10 minutes or so. Lauren Allen pressing all the way up to the keeper again, indicative that Newcastle are back on the hunt once more. And Victory are trying to exploit space over the back. Dapolonia has Low in the middle, and it was vital from Pryor to intervene. Low still at large. Nino blocks it away. And then Chico, is that a penalty or is it out for a goal kick? M. Gielnik, a wry smile, but the referee says just a goal kick. And good sportsmanship from Chico and Gielnik. Those two have been in an entertaining duel. Well, a moment of high stress here for the Newcastle defence as the initial chances were almost falling for Rachel Lowe. And then right at the last second, did Claudia Chico catch M. Gielnik there? This is live play, and Tash Pryor keeping the ball away from Rachel Lowe. That would have been a bit of a heartbreaker for Newcastle if they'd conceded a penalty kick there. Dapolonia. Chidiac calls for the ball in space. Dapolonia looks further afield. Gielnik has got separation from Chico from wide on the right. Cuts it back but can't find Low. And the clearance was straight into the midriff of Copus Brown. Chico again commits to the ball. Offside. Here's another look at the penalty shout. Oof. Well, you be the ref. That is a razor-thin call, and Chico appeared to get a little bit of ankle and not a lot of football, but Rebecca Durkow was on the scene. Bauman driving out of defence. Barbieri. Waited for Hoban and then made the 1-2. Bolden. Every pass under duress for the Jets at the moment. Bolden trying to get some space. Works it back out to the right where Hoban's continued her run. Sophie Hoban. And now Barbieri. Pass was too hot to handle. A promising build-up from Newcastle, though. Davis. Bauman. Barbieri asks for the ball, but Bauman is the option. Now Barbieri is used. Hoban, Bauman, and the Jets have just overcooked it. Running out of space against the sideline. Barbieri trying to forge a path forward. Hoban. Now Bolden leaves Zoyce, but still has Morrison to deal with. Cuts it square. Dundas feigned on the left side. Lauren Allen appeals for offside. And then the next pass is down to the keeper regardless. They've got this air of a scoring threat to them every time they attack the Jets, but the execution is just a little bit off each time. Victory inviting them on, but Dundas hooked the pass. Chidiac. Not exactly to the advantage of Rankin, but well, last touch off Privatelli was nearly able to make it work. Hoban. Now Dundas in space, waits for the ball to arrive. Dundas thought against the long shot, found Davis instead. It's Cassidy Davis, saved by Newbon. Davis filters the ball back out. Hoban. Waits for Davis. Sophie Hoban outside the penalty area, rolls it back to Bauman. Now Copus Brown. So many numbers around the penalty area. Copus Brown takes on the Victory defence single-handedly, swings in the cross, and it's caught by Newbon. Big minute for Courtney Newbon in the Victory goal, and she comes up with the save here to deny Cass Davis. Stepped around Chidiac. And it was a shot at a savable height. Newbon able to get the parry away. Cass Davis, who waited 130 games for her first A-League goal, has 2 in 149. Did score earlier in the season against the Western Sydney Wanderers, but not able to double her tally for the campaign here. And it's another good chance that Newcastle have not been able to take. Feels like if they can score one, there could be so many more on the way for the Jets, but Victory, we know that they are a big game team, a big occasion team, one that responds and thrives under high pressure. Copus Brown here lost 3 defenders, but ultimately the cross didn't have the elevation to get the better of Newbon. Chico finds Barbieri, who can turn. There's an acre of space for Barbieri. Takes on the long shot, and Morrison closed it down in the nick of time. Copus Brown back out to Barbieri. That gap in attacking midfield has just been open to exploitation all game for Newcastle in this first half. Bauman wants Bolden, and at the far post, Allen! The Jets have scored! And Lauren Allen levels it up at 1-1. And the home fans love it. They will feel it is no less than they deserve from a first half when Newcastle has laid siege to the Victory goal. And after hitting the underside of the crossbar twice, it's Lauren Allen who's got the goal-scoring touch. Ryan Campbell, the coach, loves it on the Newcastle bench. Bauman's cross over the head of Bolden, and then at the far post, Allen responded first, caught out Checker, and ultimately steered the finish past Courtney Newbon for the equaliser. 5th goal of the season for Lauren Allen, 16th career, and crucially, 1st against the Victory. She's the only player in the Newcastle squad today who has scored a goal in her career against the Victory now. The Jets came into today without a single player who knew what it took. Now they do, and how much confidence will that give them? As things stand, It would be Wanderers very happy with this result. Wellington happy enough. And Melbourne victory, maybe not for their ambitions to climb the table, but a draw as things stand would be enough for them to at least see finals action, without having to worry about their game against Sydney FC next weekend. But there is so much more to come, and this game has just had a relentless energy to it. Bolden, Hoban, great run from Copus-Brown, even better lunge from Rankin to stop the ball arriving. Back to Newcastle. Hoban brings the bouncing ball under control. Saw Dundas just caught out Dapolonia. There's been a couple of occasions in this half where the ball has not been moving rapidly across the lush surface here at number 2 Sports Ground, and players have just waited for the ball to arrive rather than attack it, and those little moments of hesitation have allowed others to nick in and steal the ball away. Sliced clearance here from Checker. It's got backspin on it. Awkward for Zoyce. Better for Bolden. Bolden who lifts a shot away. And Serena Bolden would have been taking can score from anywhere to the nth degree had that somehow found its way in. Such a phenomenal presence for this Newcastle team, the Philippines international. So just like that, in the blink of an eye, we're down to 2 minutes of regulation to go in the first half. Home fans find their voice. And Gilnick finds the ball, is going to shoot from distance. We've seen it once this season. Gilnick was able to score from inside the centre circle against the Western Sydney Wanderers. That wasn't quite as far out. Just as daring an attempt, but over the crossbar. Davis trying to clear. Deflection is a kind one for Bauman. Barbieri's back pass. Bauman gives it away to Chidiac. Red alert here for the Jets defence. Chidiac on the charge. Lays it off. Dapolonia yet to open her account this season and won't hear Chico shut her down. Big one-on-one tackle. Dundas breaking out of defence. A pass that lacked energy as it was intercepted by Zoyce. It was a great run, but the pass wasn't able to match. And now Dapolonia trying to turn provider. Nino's got to go. And holds up the gloves to claim the ball. Copus-Brown. Hansen's pass. Chidiac. A back foot pass with some force. All the way back down to Newbon. Newbon hears the cry of Rankin. Volleyed on. Zoyce. Keeps it moving to victory's advantage. Now Privatelli playing as this inverted winger. Very right-footed Privatelli. Wants to cut inside. Sends the ball square to Chidiac, and the late contact from Bauman means a mid-range free kick as the game ticks into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Leah Privatelli, who's been an energetic inclusion. No Beattie Goad this week due to being away on her medical studies placement. Bauman, late contact there, giving away the free kick. Just 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. And Paige Zoyce, who has been able to come up with some really good corner kick deliveries in this little run that she's had in the first team. Looking for the same from a set piece here. And it's catching practice in the end for Izzy Nino. And now the counter-attack might be on. Lauren Allen, exactly the sort of player the Jets will want to lead it here. Knocks the ball out in front and turns on the afterburners. And the crowd rise behind Lauren Allen. Down to the corner she goes. Can't get the better of Privatelli. Rankin's header to Chidiac. Series of deflections will see the ball find its way to Davis. Now Allen in space. Bolden calls for it at the far post. Bolden saved away by Newbon. And then is first to the spill. The outstretched right hand of Courtney Newbon saves the victory from going behind right at the end of the first half. And Bolden so close to putting the Jets in front. 45 seconds of what has been a thrilling first half remain. Davis couldn't keep it in. Here's another look. Allen onside in space. Picked out Bolden, got the volley away. And clawing it off the line is Courtney Newbon. What a marvellous save. And now with just seconds to go, do Victory launch one more attack? Or do they consolidate on a 1-1 scoreline to half-time? Rankin plays the back pass. Newcastle will press here. Newbon had to be good with the clearance. Will there be time for the Jets to launch one more attack? Stoppage time is up. And the referee has seen enough. But what a first half we've had at the number 2 sports ground. Just relentless pressing and end-to-end energy about the game. Newcastle hit the crossbar twice. Victory took the lead. And then Lauren Allen came up with the equaliser after Rachel Lowe's 11th goal of the season had put Victory in the ascendancy. Huge amount at stake today, and the teams have responded with a game to match the circumstances. Brilliant entertainment so far. Newcastle Jets 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Let's take a look at the goals. Melbourne Victory, Alex Chidiac played through Emily Gielnik for the opener. Now, there were some shouts for offside on that pass to Dapolonia, but Claudia Chico was playing players onside. And out of the chaos, Rachel Lowe swept the ball in for a 1-0 lead. And so Melbourne Victory, really against the run of play at that point, able to take the lead through Rachel Lowe's 11th strike of the campaign. And the chaotic Newcastle defence not able to get a clearance away. And so the equaliser for Newcastle came on the back of this Lorena Baumann cross. Lauren Allen making it a late run after neither Bolden nor Hansen could touch the ball in the air. I mean, maybe it brushes the hair of Serena Bolden. You'd think it's Lorena Baumann's assist, though. And Lauren Allen, first time meeting of the ball. Well-measured strike across Courtney Newbon, who came up with some big saves, but not on that occasion. And that brought the game level. Allen's 5th of the season, 16th career in the Liberty A-League. And that's what it meant to the Newcastle players to equalise. And so the numbers at halftime: Victory shading possession and pass accuracy, fouls low, and XG Newcastle very much ahead, 1.4 to Victory, 0.58. But crucially, that scoreline is still 1-1. Plenty to come. Hope you're enjoying the coverage of the Liberty A-League. We'll be back with you for the second half shortly.
the band behind you. Let's put your hands together. Come on, Maverick. He's kicked 2 balls there. He's still straight effort for Maverick and Star. Just there. Put your hands together. For our mascot, Maverick and Star. That's a wonderful commitment for our mascot. Great work, Maverick and Star.
Welcome back to live pictures from the number 2 sports ground in Newcastle. We're at halftime in this vital game for both the top 6 race and also seating within the top 6. Newcastle Jets and Melbourne Victory are level 1-1. Great crowd, great atmosphere that's been on show in this game to the halftime stage. And let's take a look at how we got this 1-1 scoreline. Alex Chidiac and Emily Gilnick combining on the left, Sarah Dapolonia and Rachel Lowe on the right. Amid appeals for offside, but the assistant referee, despite the complaints from Libby Copus-Brown, did not raise the flag. Claudia Chico back on the goal line, seemingly playing Dapolonia onside before Rachel Lowe netted her 11th goal of the Liberty A-League season on the cutback to make it 1-0 to the Victory, who had withstood Newcastle hitting the crossbar twice prior to that opening goal. The Jets would work for an equaliser, and in the last 5 minutes of the half it would come across from Bauman over the head of Serena Bolden. Lauren Allen first to respond at the far post, sliding in for her 5th of the campaign and 16th career A-League women's goal. Crucially, a first in 7 games head-to-head against the Melbourne Victory, and that is what brought the game level 1-1. The Jets have not won at home against the Victory since September 2014. They are on an 8-game head-to-head losing streak. Here are some of the numbers from the first half. Alex Chidiac, 90% passing accuracy. Cass Davis, the Newcastle captain there on your screen, has been feeding the ball into the attacking third. And look at the pass accuracy in the final third as well. 92% for Cassidy Davis. So normally a defensive midfielder, she's had a bit more creative responsibility today. Alex Chidiac, as we know, has to roam the pitch and get it done just about everywhere, but she's at her best when she's putting Victory into goal-scoring positions. And so this game is on a knife edge. Who will turn to the bench first? Who will be able to exert their style and control on the match? Victory have had a roller coaster ride on the ladder in that first half. When they were 1-0 up, they actually jumped to the top of the Liberty A-League ladder. The equaliser has sent them all the way back down to 5th. However, a draw would at least be enough to guarantee them a spot in the finals. If Newcastle win, then it all comes down to the final round for the Victory. So as things stand, 1-1, Newcastle on the outside looking in, hoping that Western Sydney Wanderers don't win later tonight. They have 45 more minutes to keep their fate in their own hands. Can they find a winner? Melbourne Victory, as things stand, they're in the top 6. But if they want to push up towards hosting an elimination final or even a top 2 finish, they are going to have to go on and win this game themselves. Checker under pressure from Allen. Ball falls to Dundas. Now Sophie Hoban, right side of the box. Hoban leaves the ball with Barbieri, the former Victory player. Barbieri just wide. It caught a deflection. It's behind for a corner. And it did look like a bit of a surprise that Mindy Barbieri would not hit the target with that attempt. And a deflection makes a bit of sense as to why Courtney Newbon wasn't called into action. Barbieri, who has played against Victory before when she was wearing the colours of Adelaide last season, but really made her name as a Melbourne Victory player when she debuted at the age of 15. She's now up to 104 A-League women's appearances, and she's taking this corner right here. Melbourne born and raised, Mindy Barbieri. Here comes the corner. Bolden, and cleared away by Hansen, who read the ball best in the air. It caught a deflection off Serena Bolden, who was in the vicinity, but not able to get a goal-bound touch. And so a first 90 seconds of the second half that really continue where the first half left on, and that is an uncharacteristic shank from Kayla Morrison out for a throw. Newcastle going with the hurry-up offense here. Chico finds Bolden on the left, swings it into the box. Rankin heads away. Bauman, the assist from the first half. Hoban, and now Barbieri from the right side. Barbieri away and almost for Allen, heading it over the bar. That perhaps should have been 2-1 to the Jets. And with Bolden out of the equation, it was Lauren Allen who arrived at the far post, but couldn't keep it down. And so Victory are under siege. Newcastle have come out with renewed energy at the beginning of the second 45. The press is just as energetic as it was from the first whistle. Here's another look. Barbieri's cross was a great one, but it wasn't Serena Bolden that she found. It was Lauren Allen, and oh, that was a great chance. Newbon clears. And the offside flag is up against Emily Gielnik here. It's Emma Kotzbeck over on the near side, watching Gielnik come back from an offside position. Hoban with the throw. Bolden against Morrison. And the ball holds up on the surface. Dundas able to nick in and win a corner kick. And that right there is applied learning from the first half. It was Emma Dundas who at times was getting caught out by the slow rollers in the first 45. On this occasion, I think a few Victory defenders might have mentally switched off there, expecting the ball to roll out, and instead it held up on the surface. And now Newcastle get themselves a little bonus. And the aerial barrage is set to continue. 4 corners to 1 for the Jets in this game. Barbieri's corner. Pryor is up, and it catches a deflection off her marker. It'll be repeat corners. Kayla Morrison clearly believes otherwise, the Victory captain. Look at the cluster of players around the goalkeeper. Everyone will be jockeying for position here, and Mindy Barbieri's set-piece delivery today has been asking some serious questions of the Victory defence. Pryor's up again. Morrison wins the header, only as far as Copus Brown. Concedes 20 metres. Chico, edge of the box, headed on by Davis. Hoban is there, and so's Newbon. And Newbon holds. Hoban sliding in. She's hurt. Newbon's hurt. Jamila Rankin was on the scene, but she's at least able to walk away. And a clash of legs between the two players. Here's another look at how it unfolded. It was a deft little touch from Davis, and Hoban trying to make ground. The goalkeeper eventually gets into the picture, and that is the sort of situation where serious injuries can happen. Two players leading feet first into each other. And without the trainer being called, that just shows how tough both Sophie Hoban and Courtney Newbon are. The thumbs up to the bench. The last thing Victory need is another goalkeeper injury. New Zealander Gio Candy, 1 appearance in their career, coming in the last round of last season for the Wellington Phoenix, is Victory's backup. Through ball here, Alex Chidiak. Closed down by Chico, got in with the slide challenge, and now looking to repel in the other direction. And Chico is pushed off the ball. And there's always a big pocket of fans in the Jets grandstand at the number 2 sports ground, right of screen, right behind that home bench, and they had a bird's eye view of how Chico was dealt with upon playing that pass. There is a look at a full grandstand, a great response from the Newcastle Jets to what's been another taxing week of headlines about the future of the club's ownership. Certainly the women's team rarely gets spoken about in those dispatches, but they have a very competitive team that is trying to break into the top 6, and the home fans are responding to the type of football they're playing, which has been super entertaining. And there might be another goal to come here. Hoban with a cross. Bolden is up, headed away by Hansen. Copus Brown appeals for offside, and the ball will beat Hoban regardless. And a Victory defence that probably spent the week training defensive set pieces, training aerial defending, has looked sharp against Serena Bolden when they've been called upon. Jeff Hopkins himself, more than 350 games in the English League system before his time in the NSL in Australia, will know what it's all about defending in the air. Defender by trade himself. And a foul at the other end here as Gielnik and Chico resume their duel, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the game for Claudia Chico. And you just wonder if that might make the Newcastle coach, Ryan Campbell, start to think about his options on the bench. Because Chico on a booking, grab of the shirt, and then that contact there on the heel of Gielnik is why it was a yellow card. That's a foul every day, and the referee has also produced the first yellow card to go with it. Newcastle defenders on the bench. Alex Hyun, end of list. So they've only really got one option unless they want to try players out of position. Chico might just have to walk the tightrope for now. Free kick for Victory in the meantime. Jamila Rankin, natural left footer, hit the crossbar in the derby against Melbourne City last weekend. This is just a drifter, but Hansen with a volley. Tori Hansen puts the Victory in front 2-1. It did not look like the most menacing of free kicks, but the volley was struck with accuracy. And Newcastle, the home fans, in shock as Tori Hansen's second of the season makes it 2-1. And the American defender who scored a few weeks ago against the Wellington Phoenix just read it best in the air. Right-footed volley. No need for Emily Gielnik to make a play at the ball in the 6-yard box. And that is just working the angles to perfection. Newcastle exploited. And where Victory's aerial defending has been exemplary, Newcastle's was lacking. Hansen with the go-ahead goal. And so after 8 minutes of the second half, it is Melbourne Victory once again in the lead and still aspiring to the top two. They play Sydney in the final round as Copus Brown fouls Chidiac here. Levy Copus Brown back in Australia after a couple of seasons away from the Liberty A-League playing in England. Jeff Hopkins perhaps asking why there aren't more cards on the way as we have another look at this foul here from Copus Brown. He probably makes the argument Chidiac not quite attacking up the pitch, was more moving sideways. Checker's header right into a 50-50. Low. Back pass, a dangerous one. Hansen had to lunge in. And then Low finds Morrison. Rankin now, one assist already with that free kick. Looking for a second. Izzy Nino drawn out of her line. Checker's header. The follow-up comes from Barbieri. Finds Dundas with the pass. Emma Dundas. Out to Bolden, and Kayla Morrison jumps the pass. Read it well. Privatelli. We know she can run on long bursts. Leah Privatelli went for the pass here, though. Gielnik not able to make a play at it as Chico clips it away. So as things stand with Melbourne City leading the Central Coast Mariners 2-0, Victory's goal here puts them up to second on the table. Sydney FC have 2 games in hand. City 38, Victory 36, Sydney 36, and Newcastle vulnerable. If they lose and Western Sydney draw against Western United later tonight, Newcastle will be out of finals contention. Here's Chidiac. And the ball clears all and sundry in the penalty area. Checker kept it in. Newcastle take possession back over. Chico. Now Allen starting very deep in the defensive half and just kicks to gain some territory. Gielnik twisting and turning. Chico following every step of the way. Foul here. Again, Claudia Chico's got to be careful on a yellow now with every foul that she concedes. Wide free kick here for Victory, and could be the opportunity to take a 3-1 lead. Well, it's again catching the trailing leg there. Claudia Chico, tackle from behind. See, it's now up to 8 fouls for the game for Newcastle. They are a foul-heavy team with the way they press and the aggression with which they play. You see, Victory have conceded just 2 fouls for the entire game, and we're almost at the hour mark. And now Paige Zoyce looking for the right free kick. Tori Hansen's got 1 goal already. Sophie Hoban marking her at the far post. Zoyce with the free kick, an outswinger. Morrison, Low, off the underside of the bar, and now the slice of luck is with Newcastle. And Rachel Lowe agonisingly close to what would have been a 3-1 Victory lead. Izzy Nino can thank her lucky stars that Newcastle aren't in a 2-goal hole. Dapolonia, Vickery still on the attack. Low, so close, just seconds ago. Asking a lot of Chidiac, and Cass Davis is able to lead Chidiac to the ball. Here's another look at the set-piece opportunity. Morrison cleverly found Low, and Izzy Nino got a glove on it into the underside of the bar. If that had gone in after breaking the hand, or breaking through the hand, I should say, not literally breaking the hand, but beating Izzy Nino with a touch on the way, that would have been a very frustrating goal to concede. Newcastle defence has got to switch on here again. Low charged through, left the ball behind. Chico clears and wins a free kick. Nino with the restart, clipped on by Lauren Allen, but Hansen has position on Bolden. Clever from Dapolonia to evade a 2-on-1, but still had to go backwards. Zoyce now switching flanks over to Rankin on the left. Jamila Rankin, long ball hoping for the run of Gielnik. Pryor there. Pryor got a little back pass on it, keeping it away from Gielnik. Another look here at the shot from Rachel Lowe. Parried into the underside of the crossbar. And this is a look at the clever footwork of Dapolonia, the American who was playing for Peninsula Power in Queensland before getting the attention of Jeff Hopkins, who brought her to Melbourne to play in the Liberty A-League. With about 27 total shots, we're not even at the hour mark. It's been non-stop attack in this game. Here's Barbieri. Frees the feet. Swings the ball over to Dundas, and the youngster can cut the ball back. First time crossing by Bowman's a bit of a moonraker. And even though there's a tangle of legs in the penalty area, that was an unplayable ball. So around the hour mark, 6 shots on target apiece. Normally that's when teams start to look to the bench. Who will blink first? Looking for a catalyst. Melbourne Victory might be happy enough with the 11 they've got out there. Of course, no Beattie Goad today. No Elise Kell on night. Correa Aquino also out of the matchday squad. Newcastle have one very big former Victory name on their bench, Melina Ayres. How many minutes has she got in the legs after another injury hit season? Here's Bolden. Copus Brown working with Lauren Allen. Chico. And a pass that put Davis immediately under pressure. And now Dapolonia, who won the ball back, is roaming forward with Gielnik on the right. Dapolonia in the middle. Dapolonia, it sits up and was begging for the shot, but no contact. A fresh air swing at the ball. And Sarah Dapolonia, who's still looking for her first A-League women's goal, not able to meet a great cross from Emily Gielnik there. And it must be said, a let-off for the Jets. Opened up on the counter-attack there. Hoban. Dundas able to get the better of Lowe. Davis to Chico. Keeps the ball moving left. Allen. Being guarded by Checker and has to break backwards and swing the ball back into the middle. Bauman. Victor with plenty of numbers behind the ball. Lorena Bauman drops it at the penalty spot. Hansen with a header away. Allen was making a late run. Would have had to fall absolutely precisely to be met by Lauren Allen, though, in amongst a trio of Victory defenders. And the ball ends up being caught here by Campbell, the coach. Chico's throw down the line. Allen allows it to bounce on. Bolden. A bit of a tangle with Hansen. Home fans do their own reffing. Rebecca Takau doesn't agree. Away comes Paige Zoyce with the ball. Bauman. And Victory continue to maraud forward. Jamila Rankin has got Privatelli, Gilnick and Lowe to aim for. And it sits up for Lowe. Well, it breaks off the outside of the foot. And where Rachel Lowe has 11 goals to her name this season, can forgive her throwing the head back in frustration there that she wasn't able to test the keeper. Newcastle not waiting for a breath before restarting play. The ball kids are all on board with how they want to keep the tempo high here, but they're not able to advance too far into the attacking half. Sophie Hoban's going to go and chase the keeper here just to build the perceived pressure once again. Morrison. Rankin. Telegraphed the pass and Davis intercepts. Now Cass Davis driving through gaps in midfield. Allen looks up. Bolden calling for the ball. Allen. I'll give credit to Checker there for putting off the pass and Chidiac for intercepting it and then coming back with energy. Chidiac sends it out towards Gilnick, but to the advantage of the goalkeeper. It's like the last 5 minutes of the game here. Gaps everywhere. Play stretched. The ball just going end to end, and whoever's got the energy is able to run with it. As we see a replay there of the low shot a moment ago. Back pass all the way down to Newbon. Checker will look up and see Mindy Barbieri. Tori Hansen, Victory's most recent goal scorer. Rankin just waited on the pass. And now pressure from Bauman. It's going to knock that ball out for a goal kick, though. So Newcastle continue to press, but not winning the ball back in an advanced area. Jeff Hopkins keeping his team on alert. Courtney Newbon perhaps wisely here, slowing everything down once again, taking every possible second. Some of the Jets players saying, get it back restarted, ref, put the ball in play. Copus Brown, Dundas. Barbieri in space in the center of the pitch. And will relay it out to the left, but too much on it. Misses Lauren Allen. See the Victory technical staff waving to some of the substitutes that are warming up. They've got Jess Nash, Alana Murphy, Ava Bridus and Rosie Curtis on the bench, and it looks as though Alana Murphy's got the call. Play right in front of that Victory bench at the moment. Emma Checker forced to retrieve the ball down in the corner. Hansen. Victory don't want to get too clever here, but Zoyce and Hansen have got enough space and time. Now Newbon, no margin for error when it's the keeper. And Newbon has to go for a bit more distance. Chico challenging Gilnick. Ball spills for Barbieri. Dapolonia now low. And Mrs. Dapolonia on the follow-up. And it's going to be a change for Newcastle. They've seen Melbourne Victory getting one young Matilda ready in Alana Murphy. They've got one of their own. Lara Gooch, who last weekend was scoring for the young Matildas in their third-place playoff win in Tash Kent. And is going to come on here for the Jets, for whom she has 2 goals this season. And it's 16-year-old Emma Dundas who makes way for 19-year-old Lara Gooch, who is having a great season. Her form got her into the young Matildas, where she was able to score a goal. And her first involvement here is to commit a foul, but the Jets will be hoping she can find a goal for them here this afternoon. And a game that was already noteworthy for so much end-to-end speed now has Lara Gooch on, who might arguably be the quickest player on the pitch. And the central referee is going to give the go-ahead to Victory making their first change. And it's going to be Rachel Lowe, their goal scorer from the first half, who comes off here for Alana Murphy, back from young Matilda's duty, where she didn't feature prominently in the tournament. One start, a couple of sub-appearances, and had been a pretty regular presence for Melbourne Victory. It's her 18th appearance of the season, so it's clocking up the minutes for Victory before she went away with the young Matildas. Interesting that it's Lowe who makes way. Here's Rankin's cross, and Nino desperate to prevent the ball going behind for a corner kick. Allen was being grabbed by Checker. Free kick on the halfway line for the Jets. Davis will take the restart quickly. Bauman. Now Gooch. Able to show that turn of speed immediately off the bench, Lara Gooch. Chiniak comes away after Copus Brown was unable to keep the ball. Runs into trouble against Cass Davis. Now Bolden gets involved, and the whistle goes in Victory's favour. Well, Serena Bolden protests, but the free kick's been paid. Tumbling pass straight to Claudia Chico. Victory couldn't make the most of it. Davis to Bauman. Gooch. Again, the burst of acceleration from Lara Gooch, and the shot comes with it, but it's not on target. Still a signal of intent from the youngster. Straight into the match so far. Lara Gooch, quick with the ball, quick without it. And the left-footed attempt there. Just got underneath it and scooped it out. Zoyce. Misses the pass here. Newcastle won't mind this. A chance to build pressure in their attacking half. They trail in the game. Really a win is the result they need. Hoban's wall pass only as far as Murphy. Back to Morrison. Awkward. Hoban crashing in. Has hurt herself here as she took on Morrison, but slowly and then quite quickly back to her feet. Looked quite hurt initially, but Sophie Hoban's a tough customer. 22-year-old has had to wait until she was a little bit older than most players to get a crack at the Liberty A-League, but has responded by clocking up 19 appearances this season. And here's the moment. Melina Ayres, the former Melbourne Victory player, found the back of the net so often for them, and it's Serena Bolden who makes way. Well, with 20 minutes to go, no Bolden goal today, and instead it's Melina Ayres, who has played against the Victory all the way back in the 2015-16 season when she was on the books of Melbourne City. Those were the only two times she's played against the Victory. Now she comes on to face them as a Newcastle Jet. Crucially, though, Ayres hasn't scored since round one, all the way back in the middle of October. Player responsible for so many great Victory goals over the journey. And of course, who was the goalkeeper that Ayres scored past in round one? Courtney Newbon, who was playing for the Central Coast Mariners at the time. So we're into the last 20 minutes. Melbourne Victory holding a 2-1 lead that would still keep them very well placed to challenge for the top two, if not for a home elimination final by finishing third or fourth. Copus Brown. Ayres, first involvement. Can't find anyone with the back heel, though. Chidiak running laterally across the top of the defensive penalty area. Now hooks it back to Checker. Chidiak can face forward. Murphy, an errant touch. Newcastle take over. Copus Brown, only Gooch to aim for. Outpointed in the air by Morrison. Davis, and then through comes Rankin. Bauman. Ayres at the edge of the box. And the shot comes from Davis and held on to by Newbon. Cass Davis, who was foiled by Courtney Newbon in the first half, denied again here in the second. And Melina Ayres immediately involved in the link-up play. Found the right pass. Davis just didn't quite have the power on the shot to catch out Newbon in goal. Whistle goes here. Lauren Allen is not breaking away. Emma Checker was fouled. And again, no need to call the trainer. Checker's all right. See the final third entries here. Newcastle are winning the territorial battle. But it's Melbourne Victory who have the 2 goals. And the home fans are starting to get restless every time Victory attempts to wind the clock a little bit whenever the ball is dead. Barbieri waxing on the left. Can't find a way past Checker. So if Newcastle are defeated here, Western Sydney Wanderers would need only a draw later tonight to eliminate them from finals contention. And the only team alive outside the top 6 in that scenario would be the Wellington Phoenix. Of course, Wanderers can make that a moot point if they win later against Western United. That game starting at 6 p.m. And wherever you're watching now, it's exactly where you'll be able to catch that game as well. 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time for our international viewers. Hoban at the edge of the box, trying to roll past Zoyce, just lost her footing. Newcastle retained possession. Davis. Bauman. Davis surveys the options, decides to drive it forward. And even though that has perhaps been the heaviest little tuft of grass in terms of stopping the ball, Copus Brown can't get there in time and decides to go and play ball kick. Plenty of time again being taken by Newbon. So we tick towards the final 15 minutes. All of a sudden, the clock starting to become the Victory's friend. Hoban. Bauman. Gooch. Denied possession by Morrison. Victory working forward. Gielnik unable to find the teammate. Pryor. Chico. Can Lauren Allen escape Emma Checker? Checker's standing up. The Jets speeds to here and wins the ball away, and then the whistle comes. Well, Checker didn't, to the naked eye, appear to do a great deal wrong. I think Paige Zoyce is right to agree. Let's have another look. Picture in picture here. Crucially, well, that is why Rebecca Decau is an A-League women's referee. She saw the grab of the shirt, saw the free kick. Of course, finals are coming for the refs as well. I expect Rebecca Decau would be squarely in the mix as one of the most frequently appearing referees this season, along with the likes of Beck Mackey. And Leah Privatelli is going to come off, and Rosie Curtis will be her replacement here. So Privatelli, game number 94 in the books, and on comes the 19-year-old Curtis, who's fantastic at occupying space in midfield and competing for the ball, and has no doubt been sent on with a task to help Victory defend this 2-1 lead. Here's the resulting free kick. You can see a long way from the box, players have lined up. Mindy Barbieri bends it to the edge of the penalty area. Morrison's initial header. Davis with a scooping volley that can't quite match the effort that she did produce for a great goal against Wanderers earlier in the season. And every time the ball goes dead, every time it's out for a goal kick, you imagine that Courtney Newbon is just going to manage the clock as best she can. Here's a replay of how Kayla Morrison was able to clear the ball. Newcastle still well on top in the territory battle here, but they're not creating clear-cut chances at the moment. Bauman. Gooch against Rankin, and Gooch with a clever step sends the ball to the edge of the box. Hoban went to ground. Home fans shouting for a penalty kick. Rebecca Decau not interested, and now a foul the other way. And well, Sophie Hoban, contact to the ankle, but the referee didn't take an interest in it. And it's Victory who have a free kick in the defensive half to clear their lines. Chidiac. And Dapolonia holds off Hoban. Ball pinging around. Bauman was fouled. Tash Pryor takes the restart. So here's another look at the penalty shout for Sophie Hoban. Kayla Morrison, probably got to the ball first. Once again, Rebecca Takau being tested here as the referee in what is a high-stakes situation. Couple of free kicks in quick succession here. Newcastle have another long ranger which they can try and drop in the box to create some havoc. Barbieri hangs it high, and off the head of Murphy it'll slide out to the left. Ayres retrieves the ball. Does so by hurling it towards Copus Brown. Libby Copus Brown at the byline. And again, the Victory defence are able to prevent a shot coming in. Here's another look at what was going on in midfield for the most recent foul. Throw in. Ayres, quick to turn, quick to shoot, quick to score! Melina Ayres ties it up for the Jets. And it felt inevitable that Melina Ayres would come back to haunt her former club. For the first time, she scores against the Victory. And it's also her first goal in the Liberty A-League since the 14th of October. It's 2-2. And we are set for a grandstand finish in Newcastle now. Allen with the throw. Ayres got separation from Zeus. Hansen didn't come out in time to shut it down. And Courtney Newbon was left stranded by a tumbling shot that just continued on into the bottom corner. Second goal of the season for Melina Ayres. And career goal number 32. And it's 2-2 with 10 minutes plus stoppage to go. You couldn't ask for better here in the Liberty A-League. A high-stakes game, and now a big finish coming up. Look at the bullocking work. Free kick Jets right on the edge of shooting range. No, it's going Victory's way, and Mindy Barbieri, who might have been lining up a shot, can't believe it. Was it a foul throw by Lauren Howland? Might leave that one to the referees to give their opinions. That's what it meant to Serena Bolden and Ryan Campbell on the bench for Newcastle. Serena Bolden is bouncing around like a hype woman on the sidelines. She's done her part out on the pitch. Now it's all happening on the bench. And we've got a break in play here. Courtney Newbon, who did take a knock from Sophie Hoban earlier in the half. That legs collision as Hoban and Newbon both slid in for the same ball. Well, is Courtney Newbon going to be the third goalkeeper casualty of the season for the Victory? Lydia Williams injured, Miranda Templeman injured, and Gio Candy, the New Zealander with one career appearance, also signed as an emergency keeper, waits on the bench. To be fair, Candy did win their only appearance in the Liberty A-League last season. Wellington Phoenix winning 3-1 away at Adelaide in the very last round. That's the last thing Victory wanted, an injured keeper, as the Newcastle Jets come for them with a big home crowd at their backs in the dying minutes here. Jeff Hopkins standing with his hands on his hips. It looks as though Newbon has received treatment and is okay to continue for now. So Newbon back on feet. The tests continue here. Rebecca Takau checking her watch. That is Gio Candy from New Zealand. One appearance for the Wellington Phoenix. Signed as an emergency goalkeeper for the Melbourne Victory. And warming up there with former Melbourne Victory goalkeeper, now their keeping coach, Melissa Maisels. Gee, Newbon is looking proppy. 23 years old, 11th appearance of the season across the Mariners and the Victory. Well, if it's a hip, it's going to be really inhibiting, but it looks as though Victory are going to let this fly for now. Watch this space. 7 minutes plus stoppage to go. Chidiac. Still Chidiac, not quite. Tash Pryor eventually got a foot on the ball. Chidiac energetically charging in with the slide challenge. And now the ball spills outside the penalty area. Gooch can turn and go. Rankin in pursuit. Gooch able to shrug Rankin. And now runs solo at the Victory defence. And Kayla Morrison with a great stand-up tackle. Rankin back to her feet. Hoban is there. Hoban swings it across. Ayres lurking. Newbon a big claim. And this is heroic from Courtney Newbon. Clearly still playing encumbered by an injury. But that was a big, big catch. Six saves for Newbon. It was shouts from some Victory players for a handball there by Mindy Barbieri. I tell you what, that was a full-blooded challenge from Alex Chidiac as well. The referee let them sort it out amongst themselves. Edge of the box. Solana Murphy dangerous here. Davis brushed by Murphy. Copus Brown able to win the ball. Hoban hoping for the pace of Gooch. Morrison caught in possession by Gooch and now has to turn her attention to defending. Gooch down in the corner. Victory defence getting back in numbers. Gooch gets across away and a good header from Hansen, clearing it from Ayres. Chidiac. 5 minutes of regulation to go. Curtis trying to drive it forward. The deflection falls kindly. Chidiac in space. Plays it out to Gilnick. Dapolonia making ground in the middle. Gilnick, a low cross that can't find a teammate. Izzy Nino collects. It's going to be end-to-end for 5 minutes plus stoppage. Who's going to grab the winner? It feels like there are more goals on the way. Melina Ayres might be the source of them. Hoban. Ayres held up by Zoyce. Pryor over to Barbieri. Chico linking up with Hoban. A rare, patient bit of build-up from the Jets. Normally they are always looking to drive forward, and that's what Gooch is trying here. Ball slides on. Allen dangerous. Ayres shot onside. Incredible. Melina Ayres puts Newcastle into the lead. If there was one name, if there was one player that you needed to score a goal, it's Melina Ayres. And the home fans show their love. Ayres had one goal for the season coming into today's game. She's got two this afternoon alone. And this was pinpoint into the corner. Lauren Allen caught Checker in possession and then fed it back to Ayres. Courtney Newbon left standing. Absolutely pinpoint. And Melina Ayres has Newcastle up for the first time in the game. They trailed twice. Now they lead. And they are keeping their season alive in doing so. Melbourne Victory are still, as things stand, in danger of missing the top six. Can they grab an equaliser straight away? Copus Brown drives it to the sideline. Newcastle go to Adelaide in the last round. Melbourne Victory go to Sydney FC. Can the Jets get this to the finish line? And it raises the stakes for the Western Sydney Wanderers against Western United later tonight. Wanderers who go to Wellington in the final round. Free kick here. Chidiac has done well to protect the ball. Elsewhere, Melbourne City home and dry against the Mariners. They've scored a third. They'll win today. And for now, they'll go top of the league before Sydney play tomorrow. 2 minutes of regulation to go. Victory have looked dangerous in the air. Tori Hansen put them 2-1 up earlier in the half from a volley. And a free kick. Paige Zoyce here swings this one into the box. Nino can't take possession. And the whistle goes. Foul on the goalkeeper. Double sub coming up. Alex Hyun, the one-cap Matilda, who prior to the game told her teammates this would be her final season in the A-League Women's. Hyun, 29 years of age, played for the Wanderers and Newcastle. Oh, there's a fight here. This is extraordinary. Emily Gilnick and Mindy Barbieri, and now Izzy Nino, and Nino's got to be careful here. Raising the hands to Gilnick and Kayla Morrison. And Morrison perhaps right to say, hands around the neck, what is going on? You do not see this in the Liberty A-League. And some big decisions coming up here for Rebecca Ducow, one of the most experienced refs in the league, and Emma Kotzbeck, perhaps the most experienced assistant referee other than Sarah Ho. So they've got two senior heads here who've seen it all before. Tensions were high, but this is boiled over in a completely unexpected fashion. So Rebecca Ducow, the central referee on the left, and Emma Kotzbeck, the assistant referee on the right. What happened here? Em Gilnick tried to get Mindy Barbieri up, and Barbieri said, "Don't do that to me." Gilnick smiling, but then Izzy Nino came out, and it got serious. It got really serious. Kayla Morrison trying to defuse things. And then a war of words in the aftermath. Cass Davis is the Newcastle Jets captain. Well, is Izzy Nino going to get sent off here? 17-year-old Lily Rose Dunbar has not played in the A-League yet. She's on the bench. Barbieri gets a yellow. Gilnick gets a yellow. But what happens to Izzy Nino? Red card's out of the pocket. Izzy Nino is sent off. And 17-year-old Lily Rose Dunbar is going to come on in this pressure cooker to make her A-League Women's debut. Newcastle were getting a double sub ready. Fortunately for them, they didn't pull the trigger on it. Otherwise, it might have been an outfielder in goal. Izzy Nino will be suspended for Newcastle's trip to Adelaide in the final round. And after being Player of the Month for February, as announced during the week, today she sees a red card. And the 24 American continues the verbals. She's got to go. And which outfielder is going to come off here for Dunbar? Nino's trying to G up the crowd. And the crowd respond. But what a moment for Dunbar to come on and make her debut. The backup goalkeeper for most of the season has been Kiara Roche, not on the bench today. And so, well, Barbieri really took exception to Gilnick giving her the hurry up. But I suppose Gilnick doesn't have to put her hands on her in order to get her up. I mean, she is tying up her shoe. Time wasting is how far you can push it before the referee takes exception. And I guess that's why we have referees, because when the players take matters into their own hands of who's time wasting too much, stuff like that happens. Now, Lauren Allen was the outfielder sacrificed so that Lily Rose Dunbar could come on, 17 years of age. Welcome to the Liberty A-League. Who knows how many minutes of stoppage we've got? That entire incident took us through the 90th minute, and now we're 2.5 minutes ticked by. Barbieri and Gilnick joined Chico in the book as the players that had yellow cards. what a moment for the Jets. What a moment for the leaders out there to try and usher a young debutant goalkeeper to the finish line, holding a precious 3-2 lead. We're back underway. Alex Hewen has also been subbed on in the aftermath. Ryan Campbell is coaching for his career. Here's Murphy. Now Morrison, who's got forward. And it's offside. The initial signal was 6 minutes, but the first 2.5 of those was spent sorting out the aftermath of the Izzy Nino red card. So you'd think we're going at least 8. Jeff Hopkins and the Victory, their concern is about getting the right shot. Alex Hewen, the one-cap Matilda. Before all that chaos broke out, I was mentioning that she's told her teammates that she'll be retiring from the Liberty A-League at the end of the season. Here's Gooch. Lara Gooch taking on the Victory defence single-handedly. Went to ground. No free kick. Murphy clears. Only as far as Chico. Checker against Copus Brown. And now Murphy drives it forward again. Pryor goes to ground. Gielnik's become the pantomime villain as far as the crowd are concerned. And shouts of red, shouts of off. Emily Gielnik won't be fazed by any of that. Well, it's a real powder keg now, the number 2 sports ground. This is why you want a big crowd. You want a home ground advantage. You want your players walking tall in high stress moments like this. Copus Brown almost stripping the ball away from Murphy. Rosie Curtis, last player back. Kayla Morrison's been thrown forward here. Gielnik can't get past Pryor. So Kayla Morrison in the number 18 shirt has been sent to centre forward as Melbourne Victory chase an equaliser. They do not want this coming down to their match away to Sydney FC in the last round of the season, especially if Sydney slip up and are playing to try and win the title. Murphy, attempted through ball. Hewen, first contact. Chidiac follows up. Veering away from play. Now Rankin. At the edge of the box, Hewen stops the ball. And Copus Brown, no thoughts other than to drive it into touch. 5.5 minutes gone. We believe that there will be at least another couple. This is a replay of the contact, which was a foul and a foul only between Gielnik and Pryor. Bauman. Throw in. Gets the ball back. And a deflection. Bit of backspin. Where's it going? Free kick for the Victory. Dappoloni has done well. So the initial 6 minutes of stoppage time has expired. And Alana Murphy will try to drop this in the penalty area and cause chaos. So Victory going to send the keeper. Are they going to send the injured Courtney Newbon? I'm not sure she'd be able to get back on the counter if that was the case. Alana Murphy with the free kick here. It falls at the penalty spot and slides on. And now Lily Rose Dunbar will get her first touch. She's been on the pitch for 4 minutes. You see all the emerging Jets, the youth team players are there, urging on the seniors. Well, is she going to get a touch? It looks as though Pryor's going to take the goal kick. And Pryor's been booked. Red yellow card was in the hand of Rebecca Durcow there with that whistling. So time wasting. Goal kick from Pryor. Zoyce's header. Davis, the captain, drives it down the line. Gooch able to take over the ball and make it a contest against Rosie Curtis. Oh, free kick Victory's way. They've got to go. Time is their enemy now. Curtis. Hansen. Here's Checker. Chidiac. Can she be the creator? Goes back to Zoyce. Paige Zoyce drives it out to the left. Rankin is there. Bauman got a toe in. And Lorena Bauman holds up the ball, plays it down the line. Gooch can't get there before Curtis. Intercepted by Barbieri. Chidiac. Slide challenge comes in from Bauman. And it finds its way to Gooch. And Gooch down the line. Only Hoban to go and chase. And Hansen steers it back to Newmont. 8 minutes of stoppage is up. It's all on the referee from here. Ayres, 2 goals off the bench. Newcastle's hero, if they can get it to the finish line. Victory down the wrong end as far as they're concerned. Zoyce just goes for distance. Flick header on by Gielnik. Alex Hyun is there. Hyun keeps it away from Dapolonia. Out to Chico, being chased by Morrison. And as the ball twisted out, both teams argue it's their throw. It caught a deflection. Claudia Chico managed it well. Chico's throw down the line. We tick into the 100th minute. 9 of stoppage expired. Pryor sinks the slipper, goes for distance. Newcastle keep their season alive in the most amazing fashion. Melina Ayres came back to haunt her former club, the Melbourne Victory. 2 goals as the Jets came from behind to win. And a match that finished in acrimony with Izzy Nino red-carded. Look at the Jets go to 17-year-old goalkeeper Lily Rose Dunbar. What a thrill for her in her debut. And on a day where Serena Bolden did not find the back of the net, the player she was subbed out for, Melina Ayres, did twice. Newcastle are alive in the top 6 race. Melbourne Victory have not locked in their spot. What a match in Newcastle. The Newcastle Jets 3, Melbourne Victory 2. Well, from minute 1, this game was a track meet, end-to-end, full-strength sprinting, and ultimately, it's Newcastle who've come from behind twice to prevail, but Victory did lead thanks to Rachel Lowe's goal in the first half. Her 11th of the campaign. Gielnik and Chidiac combined. Dapolonia was kept onside by defenders on the goal line, and then Lowe put it in for 1-0. And that's after Newcastle had hit the crossbar twice in the first half. Equaliser came from Lauren Allen, her 5th of the season. Newcastle started today's game without a single player who had scored against the Melbourne Victory. They were on an 8-game head-to-head losing streak coming into this one and hadn't beaten Victory at home since September 2014. They have broken any number of droughts by getting the 3 points here today. Lauren Allen, the first of those, just by finding the back of the net for the equaliser. However, Victory would take a 2-1 lead when Tori Hansen read Jamila Rankin's free kick best, met it with a side-footed volley, and got the angle spot on into the opposite corner, and that was Victory in front early in the second half. However, Melina Ayres came off the bench on the end of Lauren Allen's throw and rolled away from the defence to do what she does. First goal since October the 14th, back in round 1 for Melina Ayres. Doesn't matter how long she spends out injured. She's just always a good thing for a goal. And then the winner, which was the pick of the goals. Lauren Allen hunted the ball, won it away, and Melina Ayres with the shot on sight put it top corner pigeon. Thank you very much. 2 in the game for Ayres, and Newcastle into a 3-2 lead. Izzy Nino would get sent off, but it wouldn't matter because the Jets would hold on to the finish line and win the game. And there's the hero, Melina Ayres.